If the reason you want to drink less is because you are afraid of having future health problems, you're likely going to find it really hard to change your drinking habits. And the whole idea that you should be doing something that you're not is why alcohol use disorder is a thinking problem, not a drinking problem. Because if it's true that you should be drinking less, and yet you're still drinking too much, then something must be wrong. And the more you look for evidence that something is wrong, the more you're going to find it. And the worse you're going to feel, and the harder it's going to be to keep trying. In this episode, I'm going to break down my exact process that I teach my clients when they are not seeing measurable improvements in how much or how often they drink. You're going to walk away with a clear understanding as to why it is so critically important to respond to your own drinking habits with self-compassion and curiosity instead of disappointment and frustration. Because the only way to stop repeating your mistakes is to start learning from them. By the way, I'm Colleen, and I teach intuitive drinking to high-achieving, coachable women who want to reduce their alcohol consumption by 80%. Be sure to follow or subscribe to the show if you are interested in a more common sense and less extremist approach to changing your relationship with alcohol. I teach that behavior change is a natural side effect of becoming the version of you who is up to bigger and better things. Get happy, not sober, because happy people don't drink themselves into a stupor. It's not about the alcohol. So today I'm going to explain why the key to change is having realistic expectations of the change process. And I'm going to do this in the context of the most common obstacle that I have to coach women through when they are in my program and they are not experiencing life-changing transformation. Their drinking habits have gone away and they no longer have any desire to drink. They are happy with their habits. Like, that is not something that just happens. That is something where you identify what you want, bullseye on the tree. How do I want to feel? How do I want to behave? What would I need to be thinking in order to feel and act that way? You need to understand that you can only focus on really one thing at a time in any given moment, which means 95% of your behaviors and your thought patterns are subconscious. They are habits. Your thoughts are habits too. Most of what you think and how you respond in any given situation is the same shit you thought and the same way you responded yesterday. So your personality is a pattern. It is a habit. And so changing how you think and how you behave requires effort. You need extra space and time to pause and see the old reaction come up. This is why it's so important to be able to feel your feelings, because if you're avoiding your feelings, you can't change your feelings. Learning how to process your emotions is literally the portal to exponential up-leveling and personal growth. Everything you want is on the other side of all the stuff you are afraid to feel, because all of those unwanted feelings are actually unwanted beliefs. They are telling you how your subconscious is programmed, the framework that you are using to interpret what you see in the world, the mindset about who you think you are and what you think is or is not possible for you, and learning how to stop and pause and bring your subconscious belief system into consciousness is how you reclaim your power, where you get to choose what you believe. You get to choose which beliefs you act on, which beliefs will be true for you, and which beliefs you're going to let go of your emotional attachment and say, that is no longer true for me. That is not how I'm going to operate. That belief is not going to set me up for success. I am not going to allow that belief, which I was taught from either somebody else or from a painful experience, I am not going to allow that traumatic, self-limiting belief to create my future. I'm not going to allow my future to simply be a trajectory of my past. I am not a victim of my past. I have the power of my consciousness. I have the power of choice. I get to decide who I am and what is possible for me and what goals I'm going to set and achieve in my life. And so one of the most common lead-ins that I get in a coaching call from a woman is that she will raise her hand, which she's doing it right, and she will share with me that she has not made any progress in the program. She should be farther along than she is. So let's just stop and do a quick a high level look at the words you use to describe your reality. Words are what you use to create your reality. How you describe your reality is what creates your reality, not vice versa. You are not objectively describing the truth. You are actually creating the truth. Words are literally your magic wands. That's why we call it spelling, because you are casting a spell on yourself and creating a story that you are then going to live into as though it is true. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The words you use to describe a problem are creating the problem. The problem itself is just a mental construct, which is why the skills of emotional sobriety are so essential, so that you can learn the difference between objective reality, them's just the facts, the circumstances, which are always neutral. They're not good or bad or right or wrong. They just are what they are. You have to learn to tell the difference between objective facts and then the story you're telling yourself about those facts, what you're making them mean, how you expect them to be different, and therefore this is a problem. And I will remind you that the mindset that sees something as a problem cannot solve that problem, because it is the mindset that is creating the problem. The solution to every problem is to ask a higher level question, look at things from a different perspective, examine the story or the framework subconscious beliefs that are causing you to make certain assumptions. It is the mind that makes the problem. It makes a neutral circumstance into a problem by injecting meaning and beliefs onto it. And that is why the entire sober industry is completely missing the mark, where you're trying to solve a drinking problem by focusing on the drinking problem, by doubling down on the belief that you can't control yourself, by doubling down on the belief that alcohol has power over you and that you really love to drink. I can tell you, you don't actually love to drink. Your body 0% of the time enjoys drinking beyond the biphasic limit. Your body does not enjoy being numb and dumb and dehydrated with high levels of cortisol and loss of motor skill and function and a lack of sharpness and clarity with your mind. Your body does not actually enjoy that. You just are in the habit of thinking that you like to drink. And so that is the problem. The mind that says, I love to drink and I can't stop once I start and I need alcohol to shut down my mind, those beliefs are the problem.